It was 1925. Silent Cal Coolidge was inaugurated for his second term in the White House. Scott Fitzgerald wrote The Great Gatsby. The Scopes monkey trial dominated the summer headlines. And as the jazz age played on in full swing, everybody was doing the new dance craze called the Charleston. While all this was going on, the tiny community of Faulkton, South Dakota recorded the birth of Charles Glenn Steele, a name that several decades later would take its place among the leaders in one of the world's great business professions. The drought and depression 30s were Charlie Steele's growing up years, when he labored at virtually anything and everything in developing a work ethic that would stand him in good stead in times to come. By 1943, with World War II raging in Europe and the Pacific, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy Aviation Cadet Program, committed to the goal of earning his wings even after the war ended. The young pilot met and married Shirley Ferguson, whose patience and support would prove invaluable in the years ahead. And in 1948, with the completion of his tour of naval duty, he changed his mind about becoming an aeronautical engineer and took up accounting studies at Golden Gate College in San Francisco. In the early 1950s, Harry Truman was president. The Korean War had started. People started watching television. And in 1951, at the age of 26, Charlie Steele sat for his CPA examination. It wasn't long after that Shirley called him at the firm where he had taken his first accounting job and told him he had won the AICPA Elijah Watsell's Gold Medal for having scored the highest marks in the country. He joined Haskins & Sells in San Francisco in 1952. And in 1958 became part of the Detroit team directing the General Motors audit. He was transferred to the New York executive office in 1961, returned to San Francisco in 1962, and became a partner in the firm in 1963. During those years, he became especially interested in statistical sampling, using it for his thesis that resulted in his master's degree. The paper was published in the Journal of Accountancy, winning Charlie the firm's Best Paper Award. He remained in San Francisco until 1972, when he moved to become partner in charge of the Chicago office. Under him, revenues and profits grew dramatically, and he was appointed chairman of Deloitte Haskins & Sells Advisory Committee on Objectives and Planning. His final career move was to New York in 1978 to become the chief executive officer of the U.S. firm. The U.S. firm's revenues, which were about $221 million then, exceeded $563 million in 1986. He has spearheaded the firm's new strategic directions by overseeing a critical reassessment of DH&S, and with a commitment to change, forged the strategies which guide our firm today. As chairman of Deloitte Haskins & Sells International, he continued to foster international spirit and strengthen the worldwide organization. DH&SI grew from about 16,000 people in 1978 to over 25,000 today. With patience, perseverance, and statesmanship, Charlie chaired the meeting of DH&SI representatives from around the world where the International Memorandum of Agreement was approved. He has chaired the Financial Accounting Foundation Structure Committee, which reviewed the FASB's operations. He also chaired the FAF Special Committee to create the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. And he has served as Vice President and on the Board of Directors of the AICPA. He has served on the Advisory Council of several business and accounting schools. As chairman of Deloitte Haskins & Sells International, he's traveled to many of the over 400 practice offices around the world. But on those rare occasions when he wasn't occupied with the myriad aspects of running the firm, he could be found at home in Greenwich, Connecticut with the family, or playing golf, framing a window, wallpapering a room, or even intensely involved in a game of backgammon, at which both he and Shirley are strong competitors. Cool, self-assured, and imbued with the pursuit of excellence throughout his career, Charlie Steele has provided productive and inspirational leadership for Deloitte Haskins and Sells. And as he and Shirley move on to retirement in Carmel, California, we thank him for guiding this global organization through these most challenging years and giving us so many great years of his humanity and his wisdom.